This is the 4th Ring Road in Beijing at 7 p.m. If you are not familiar with Beijing, you may not be able to imagine how shocked I was when I saw this scene. In my memory, I have never seen such smooth traffic on the North 4th Ring Road during the rush hour. Of course, you all know what I am talking about. The news some time ago said that the profits of Beijing's catering industry have dropped sharply. Din Tai Fung has withdrawn from Beijing, and IBM has withdrawn from China. You should have heard of these news. I also think there is no need to say more. Our environment has ushered in a stage that has not been seen in the past 10 years, or even 20 years. Anyway, since I came to Beijing, except for SARS and the epidemic, I have never seen such a depression. As I said, everyone knows their own feelings. Today I will take you to the largest commercial complex in Beijing, Super Hobson Place. For comparison, I will also take you to the Confucius Temple Night Market in Yulin, Shanxi. Let's experience the current situation of consumption downgrade firsthand. This is Super Heshenghui on Sunday, which should be the largest commercial complex in Beijing. When I first came here, I really didn't expect that this super commercial complex, which has just opened for more than 3 months, has a little traffic. I live in Chongping, Beijing. To be fair, Chongping does need such a large commercial complex. After all, there are so many high-tech talents living in the surrounding areas, whether it is Haochengkun, Wolongwen, or Shay, and it is unreasonable that there is no place for consumption and entertainment. But to be honest, this commercial complex that started operating in May is really born at the wrong time. In the general environment of layoffs and salary cuts in Beijing internet companies of all sizes, this Super Heshenghui will definitely face huge challenges. However, what I want to say is that even without the current economic environment, simply building this super commercial complex will not actually bring back consumption. Why? Because you really don't overestimate the income level of ordinary people. In 2024, the proportion of people in Beijing with an annual income of less than 100,000 yuan is as high as 71%. Therefore, this kind of commercial complex is essentially built for a few people. Even if it is very popular here, I feel that it is just a show of support. How many people can really buy a lot here? So you can see that it is so popular after only opening for more than 3 months. This phenomenon is not only in Beijing, you can see the same in Shanghai now. It is not that this kind of business is completely bad, but Chinese people really need to increase their income. Look at this store. It is the most popular store when I visit Hobson Place. It focuses on nostalgia and cheapness. It sells all kinds of old items for only 10 or 8 yuan. There are also old-fashioned salespeople. I can't even squeeze into this store. Combined with the current popularity of various discount stores, now, cheapness is the hard truth. I mentioned in my last video about Beijing consumption that Beijing has been using various means to squeeze out low-end consumption, and has also invisibly raised consumption and operating costs. High store rents and overly dispersed crowd density all affect the operation of this type of business. Moreover, the competition is too homogeneous. When you come here, you can know what stores are there at a glance. It really lacks novelty. In many cases, I only come here when I need to buy something, which reduces the novelty of shopping. I don't know about others, but I really have no interest in shopping in this kind of mall. Most of the brands here are neither aesthetically pleasing to me nor appealing to me, and the prices are ridiculously expensive. I bought a pair of ordinary, indestructible yellow boots in the United States for only 500 renminbi, but in Chinese malls, the price is 3 times higher. I don't know what their pricing strategy is. Is it that Chinese people are richer than Americans? Anyway, I am not surprised to see the sparse crowds in the mall now. Let me say something unpleasant. Sometimes you feel that all malls in China are only for women and children. Their excuse before was that it is easiest to make money from women and children, but why can I, as a man, have fun shopping in Shinsaibashi, Osaka? Not only those unique boutiques and second-hand stores, but also various game stores, model stores, etc., etc. Friends who go to Japan for free must know what I am talking about. I am too lazy to compare them. Our offline business has become so deformed, and now consumption is sluggish. All I can say is that it is inevitable. This is Yulin in Shaanxi. I think many people, like me, have almost no knowledge of this place. Maybe they just know that this is a resource-based city rich in coal mines. But I never expected that the city's per capita GDP ranks 5th in the country, which can be said to be very rich. Then I saw that their police car on the street in Yulin was actually Xiaoping P7, but it was really a bit of a sledgehammer. If this car was in the United States, it would be a good show. I was just passing by here. Maybe I have some prejudice against northern cities and I am not prepared to know this city in depth. But I almost accidentally lived in the most lively area of this city. Based on the principle of visiting since I am here, I must go downstairs for a simple city walk. Who knew that this inconspicuous third-tier city would open my eyes? It may be a long time since I felt such a lively street in the northern city at night. Pay attention, this is not just Saturday and Sunday, it is like this almost every night. It can be said that this place has a bit of the feeling of a southern city. Clothing stores, gold shops, snack stalls, fruit stalls, and various shops coexist harmoniously on both sides of the street, crowded and bustling. When you walk to the Confucius Temple pedestrian street, there are so many people that there is a traffic jam. I think the night market in a small city is different from that in a big city. There are not only various local snacks here, but also various interesting services. Nail salons and children's amusement are just the most basic services, and there are these. This kind of live performance by singers in restaurants is something you won't see in night markets in big cities. Various coffee and milk tea brands that young people like are also present here. They also know where the main consumers are. Young people in first-tier cities are struggling with internal competition and job hunting, while young people here seem to be much more relaxed. I compare Beijing and Yulin. Actually, the purpose is very simple. They all say that we want to promote consumption. We can see the difference from my video without any economists bringing in various theories. A very important factor here is the impact of real estate prices on the offline economy. The rent and tax of houses in big cities are much higher than those in small cities, which makes it difficult for you to eat cheap and delicious snacks on the roadside in Beijing. You will not be able to visit such a down-to-earth business atmosphere. Now many people in first-tier cities have to bear the pressure of mortgage loans that are much higher than those in small cities. It is naturally stressful to go to such large commercial buildings for consumption, and in the current downward market of real estate, such pressure is even more obvious. A cup of milk tea costs 20 or 30 yuan, while in small cities it may be solved for less than 10 yuan. I read a report by Morgan Stanley on China's consumption in August 2024. Now the consumption desire of people in first-tier cities is obviously lower than that of people in third- and fourth-tier cities. Another point is the more open environment. Small cities are more tolerant of street vendors, various food stalls, and the dirty and messy environment that goes with them, so the market is more dynamic. After walking on the streets of Yulin for a long time, I didn't see any urban management officers trying to coax the vendors. The appearance of the city can't be used as a meal in small cities, so naturally no one cares so much. I think it is impossible to make Beijing become Yulin. Face is still Beijing's top priority, but the current downward housing prices, I think it is the beginning of restoring rationality, and it is probably possible that Beijing's future offline business will gain a little survival space, and Beijing will no longer be so arrogant and lonely.